It feels like we first started talking about election 2016 in 1916. But this week, the pace is quickening. And to quote Sarah Palin, there's no more pussyfooting around. Yes, with 12 days to go until the Iowa caucuses and 20 till first in the nation, New Hampshire, the former Alaska governor and Tea Party darling has picked her candidate. He is Donald J. Trump. She made the announcement yesterday in Iowa, and it was quite the speech.
I am here because, like you, I know that it is now or never. I'm in it to win it. Doggone right we're angry, justifiably so. Yes. You know, they stomp on our neck and then they tell us, just chill. Okay, just relax. Well, look, we are mad and we've been had. They need to get used to it. This election is more than just your basic ABCs. You ready for a commander-in-chief who will let our warriors do their job and go kick ISIS ass? Things are gonna change under President Trump.
Now, on the other side of the race, it's been a tough 24 hours for Hillary Clinton. A new CNN poll has her 27 points behind Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire. On top of that, the latest report on Clinton's emails, claiming some found in her private server, were designated at a higher classification level, even than top secret, whatever the level that is. And then there's a pretty tough New York Times article out today, which I'll get into a little later. Joining me now to discuss all that's bubbling up, and in some cases exploding in this race, are Shannon O'Brien. Shannon is a former state treasurer, Democratic candidate for governor, and a Hillary Clinton supporter. Great to see you, Shannon. And Charlie Chippio is a senior fellow at the conservative-leaning Pioneer Institute, served in the Romney administration, and is still shopping around among the candidates. Charlie, it's great to see you, too. So, as wacky as this thing was, and I don't even mean that disrespectfully, it was wacky. Does this not help Donald Trump with the Tea Partiers, the hard right? It's got to help, doesn't it, Shannon?
I think it helps completely. By the way, I heart her jacket. I love her jacket. I want it. And I think it helps.
Someone texted me today that it was Liberace's before.
I've seen her, but I've seen her. That jacket, this is not the first time that's been...
It moves independently of her.
I think and it moves right. But anyway, I think that it helps him tremendously with some of the conservatives, the Tea Party people.
In primary season. Now, we can debate. I mean, maybe she's going to be shoved aside, assuming he makes it to the final.
Right.
But in the primary time, it is a huge lift, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think in certain states, I don't know that it'll make a big difference necessarily in New Hampshire, but I think it's a big deal in Iowa, where there's a real
Tea Party
strong
evangelicals,
Tea Party
that sort of
evangelical, that group, absolutely.
Also, and it's not Ted Cruz, which is also pretty serious. It's not only an endorsement of Trump, but a rejection, I guess you would say, of the guy who is leading in some polls.
That's right.
Out there,
That's right. No, I think in certain places it makes a big difference.
So if that's done, well, that's pretty easy. Well, let's move on to another endorsement. This one was for Ted Cruz. Here it is.
I've looked at the candidates. Ted Cruz is my man. He fits the bill. He's godly. He loves us. He's the man for the job, and he will go duck hunting.
Obviously, that's the Duck Commander from a Duck Dynasty. And if you weren't clear, that face on the right there is with face paint. That, of course, is Ted Cruz with a borrowed shotgun kind of thing.
Hunting varmints.
What's that?
He's hunting varmints.
You know, my first reaction today was Dukakis in a tank, part 2. However, we got a lot of email today saying guns matter a lot. Robertson, Duck Commander, matters a lot. And this is a big endorsement, too, at least in Iowa. You don't buy it.
You know, maybe it is. I mean, I'm not in or of that world, you know, and so much of what I've seen in the last couple of months has completely astounded me that I'm sort of losing any faith in my own instincts.
But one thing you do understand is guns are a huge issue.
Understand.
Second Amendment is a huge issue, and that's what this is all. It's not about duck hunting. It's about the fact I'm going to stand by your side on the Second Amendment. That matters, doesn't it?
I think it does. I mean, I think that both the Sarah Palin issue is going to help Donald Trump because he has had questionable bona fides with the real conservatives. You know, he's
including some talk radio people who aren't crazy about him but love Sarah Palin. Yeah.
But you know, he has completely flipped his position, at least as a private citizen, on a number of different issues, including supporting Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
So I think that that both the duck guy helps Cruz as much as I don't know what his name is, but anyway. But I love the makeup. I thought that was good.
Well, you can borrow the makeup and then the jacket.
The makeup, you know.
Absolutely.
So Iowa 12 days away, both did pretty well with their endorsements. Let's move to the Democratic side and repeat, you were a Hillary Clinton supporter. A couple of days ago, there was a poll that had Bernie Sanders only up 6 points. So the CNN poll's an outlier, but it's not some wacko group. It's CNN. 27 points. The articles in places like the Times, Globe, elsewhere say there's fear in the Clinton camp. They grossly undersold this guy's candidacy. They didn't respond early enough. Are those fears real? Should they be real?
I think they're real. I think that Bernie Sanders has done a very good job of hitting on some issues that a lot, especially in the sort of left wing of the party, really cares about. Wall Street, income inequality. That has been his mantra time and time again. Even when they're asking him different questions on the debate stage, he heads back in that direction, and that's a powerful message for a significant chunk of the progressive part of the party.
What do you make of the fact about a week ago that Joe Biden, who's pretty popular with those same people, praised Bernie Sanders for exactly what you just mentioned, and then basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, and Hillary Clinton's sort of late to the fair, but I'm glad she's there. That's pretty serious slap, is it not?
I think it's a slap, but I also think that Joe probably really did want to run for president and maybe thought that he got in too late, thought he would be the credible alternative to Hillary Clinton, and for his own personal tragedy was not able to get something like that off the ground. So maybe there's something going on.
Can Sanders win? If Sanders wins Iowa, and it's practically neck and neck, he's moving up a little into a tie, she's moving down a little. He's got either a small lead or a colossal lead in New Hampshire.
Right.
If he wins Iowa and New Hampshire, can this guy win the nomination of the Democratic Party?
I don't think you can ever say that he couldn't, anybody who wins both Iowa and Hampshire couldn't win. I mean, certainly they could win. I think it's going to be interesting that you could be in a situation after February 9th or whatever the date is, where you
9th.
where you could have the sort of the powers that be in both parties absolutely apoplectic about what
speaking
they're
of both
looking at.
parties and apoplectic, whatever that, what's the noun for apoplectic? Whatever it is.
You went to Yale.
Do you not find it fascinating that in a ton of polls, when people who support Donald Trump are asked who their second choice is, you know who their second choice is?
No.
Bernie
Sanders.
Yeah.
And while ideologically they may be in totally different galaxies, they're both playing to an anger.
They're
Some in the
not-
Democratic
but
Party.
they're playing to the exact same group of people who are dissatisfied, who are feeling bad about this economy, who feel like they can't get ahead. There are just two different remedies to it.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
is, I'm the businessman and I'll solve it for you. The other is, we're going to tear apart certain parts of government and rebuild and go after rich people.
When we started the segment, I don't know if I mentioned all this, but I will again. Some people say, even though Hillary Clinton is not even mentioned in this new Benghazi film, that the fact that the issue is front and center because the film is relatively popular is going to hurt her. This disclosure today that some more than top secret documents from her private circuit are going to help hurt her. I think this is even worse. Everybody remembers Lena Dunham 2 weeks ago was in New Hampshire. When she was there, she said this.
I've admired Hillary Clinton for many years, 24 to be exact, when I was 6 years old and she entered all of our consciousness.
And one would argue with young women who matter a lot, that's pretty important. Well, it was a very different story than the one the New York Times is telling today. Quoting sources who were at a dinner party with Dunham a few months ago, those sources say Dunham told them she was, quote, disturbed by how in the 90s, the Clintons and their allies discredited women who said they had had sexual encounters with or been sexually assaulted by former President Bill Clinton. Had she not been in New Hampshire, I guess you'd say, well, it's a problem. But the fact that she endorsed her big time and then does this is troubling, is it not?
Well, I mean, I certainly think that there's an off-the-record cocktail party conversation on the one hand, and going out and politically supporting a woman that she thinks will be a very strong president. All of this stuff, anything that's negative, certainly hurts a candidate
But this
like
is
Hillary
serious
Clinton.
negative, is it not, with a real area of vulnerability,
I don't
no?
think that I don't think that it's good news, but I ultimately think that what people are voting on are not 20 and 30-year-old transgressions of Hillary Clinton's husband. I think that women are looking at income equality, what's going to happen to their kids. That's what Hillary has been focusing on.
So here's the good
issues.
news, the bad news. The good news that my producer said the word is apoplexy. The bad news is there's no time for you to respond. Nice to
Okay.
see you.
Good to see
Shannon,
you.
it's great to see you. Next time you'll troll.
All right,
Thank you
Jim.
so much for your time.